This is Late Night Late Talks TV. I'm Late Night Late Night Talk reality TV dating shows such as Married at First Sight, Ready to Love, Love is Blind, The Ultimatum, and Love Island, just to name a few. So if you do enjoy watching that type of content, then please go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on when I upload a new video. And please don't forget to like the video, and if you comment down below, I'll comment back. Thank you in advance. Now let's get into Married at First Sight, Season 17, Denver, Reunion Part 2. Let's wrap this show up because this is a mess. And I don't want this review to be too long. I just really want to focus on the most important things because while I was watching the review, like many of you, I was really thinking, when is this going to be over? Let this please be over. I'm tired. Okay. Let's get into the Delulu that is Emily and Brennan, but mainly Emily. Now, I will say this. I did think Emily was a very positive person at the beginning of the season. We saw her hurt her wrists during her honeymoon. We saw her hair, her weave get matted up, and had to be taken care of during the honeymoon. And then we saw her, of course, get into that accident, and she continued filming that same day. So she definitely had a resilient energy and tried her best for the show. I will say that. However, I don't know if she was just holding so much in during that time, and now she's just exploded. But I will say this. I don't like Emily. I think Emily is 100% also the problem. The way she talked to Keisha Knight Pulliam during the after party, and then the way that she came at Kevin Frazier. And, it's definitely given Karen vibes because these people here have a job to do. They cannot be on the men's side. They cannot be on the women's side. They have to remain neutral. And she doesn't seem to understand that. She wants to go at Kevin. She wants to go at everybody. And it's like, girl, you decided to play stupid on camera and not discuss these things, because had you discussed these things on camera, whether Brennan wanted her to or not, production would have been like, whoa, wait a minute. They want the juicy gossip. So let's get into Emily talking about how the other rumor. But first, let me say this. Kevin Frazier did one thing wrong, and I think that when Brennan was saying, everything was great up until those rumors. If I was Kevin, I would have been like, no, honey, everything was great up until the end of the honeymoon because you didn't even want to move in. I would have been like, whoa, let me stop you there. But other than that, I think he did a great job. Now, I will say when they talked about the rumors with Brennan supposedly, saying he wanted to sleep with one of Emily's best friends, she said that she saw the text message on his iPad. But when Kevin asked her, why didn't you bring it up? She said, well, I didn't want to believe it. What do you mean you didn't want to believe it? Did you not see the messages or not? Yes or no? But then it was like, she also said that, when it came to Brennan talking about certain things as well, she was just like, well, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you say something? And it's like, well, man, you're the queen of not saying something. Because if you saw text messages of him talking about your best friend and wanting to sleep with her, baby, relationship is done. Marriage is over. Decision day is today, But how do you gloss past that? It's living in a stage of Delulu. And I love the fact that Brennan admitted that he wasn't attracted to her. And she just was like, I don't believe that. Ma'am, did the man sleep with you? No, he didn't want to be with you. He acted like he was repulsed by your presence. Okay, he did not like you. He was not attracted to you. Emily is one of those women who give very much So Karen vibes. It's like, just because I'm a size 6 and I'm bleach blonde, all the men want me. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It does not mean that. It does not mean that at all. Just because someone may be conventionally attractive, it doesn't mean that that person, that you're somebody's specific type. And she is over here acting like, she's the bee's knees. And I'm like, wait a minute, Emily. You never even been in a relationship and men are always ghosting you. And now we see why. Now we see why. And then Emily glossing over the fact that she kissed and made out with a random guy in a bar. Like, just because you saw text messages does not mean that it's okay for you to go out and act and do certain things, because someone saying they want to do something in a text message versus someone going out and actually swapping spit with a stranger is not the same. Like, you actually did the activity and made the situation worse. So yeah, like, girl, absolutely not. So yeah, Emily, she just had this fighter spirit, all that crying and walking out. Like, she really thought she was gonna, do her big one. And like I said in my last review for part 1, it came across as bitter Betty's. It came across as, we're angry and we want you to be angry too. Misery loves company. We want to tell on all the men. Instead of actually, being composed, speaking calmly, and, it was just completely different. And I know what the women were trying to do, but it failed miserably. It failed miserably. And the only woman that people seem to actually like at this point is Chloe, because she did not have that same fighter spirit. And Chloe was done wrong just like the other women. Michael is an a-hole. We'll get into Michael. But again, Emily DeLulu, ma'am, you're not a prize either. She's doing therapy twice a week. She needs a new therapist. It's okay to change therapists, but twice a week, it's not working. When did you start? Last week? Because it just was not giving, I'm healing, I'm healed, or I'm even on a healing journey. It's very much giving, I am angry and I want the world to pay, And the way she said to Brennan, like, oh yeah, the world's going to be America's going to be on my side. No, we're not. Brennan took accountability. He apologized to Dr. Pia. That was so big of him, and I was so glad that he did that. And he said, yes, I was being controlling. Now, let me just say this. Sometimes we don't know what we're doing wrong until we have to, have it happen to us, or we see it happen. So watching yourself on TV, I don't know when this reunion was filmed, but maybe he got a chance to see himself on TV and he saw all the feedback and he's like, oh, okay, I was wrong. And yeah, I'm sorry. The guys win. Well, maybe not all of them, but to me, Brennan, and I will tell you this, I was not a fan of Brennan at all. But I feel like he came to get this over with. He wants to move on with his life. He's not bitter and angry with her, because had him be the one who went to a bar and made out with a random woman, Emily would have, oh my God, the waterworks. So yeah, I think that him apologizing to Dr. Pia, him taking accountability and realizing that he was being controlling, that was great. And he told his truth. He said he should have left. He said he was not cool with what her friends said about her, which is, it was crazy that they were talking about her like that. But, clearly she's not good at picking people to be in her life. Emily doesn't do a good job at picking men. And she doesn't do a good job picking friends, because the way the internet was like, girls are not your friends. And now you're talking about how one of them was trying to sleep with Brennan, and you see, we saw the wedding episode where the friends were pretty much going in on her to Brennan. And it was like, why would you speak to your friend's spouse like that? Like, that was not, you're not saying, encouraging good things. But anyway, you could just tell Brennan, he even said, like, I should have ended it. Now, the only thing with Brennan, I was like, okay, whatever. He's talking about, well, he was afraid to leave. And I think Brennan, he really probably grappled with, not wanting to get a divorce and disappointing his family, and, what he was so firm about. But yeah, like, I feel like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the men had a better attitude. It's crazy. But to me, everyone was wrong in this situation. But the women, they wanted so hard to make the men, to tell on the men, make them seem like villains, and it was just not doing what they thought it was going to do. I will say, let's get into Claire and Cameron. To me, I personally think that Cameron had the perfect excuse. I don't really think I believe that heart surgery thingy, the way he made it sound like. I think that it was an act to get off of the show. And it's the perfect thing to say, because they cannot go and, HIPAA laws, HIPAA violations. They can't go and get your records. If you tell them to stop, that you're not going to film anymore, and you pretend that you're going to the hospital, like, what are they going to do? They can't prove it. Like, they can't prove it. So to me, it was almost the perfect getaway. But how can Cameron be the leader of the men? Because, the women said that Cameron was the leader of all of it. When Cameron, after the 1 month anniversary dinner, he was gone. We didn't see him for quite some time. So it was just like, what? Claire, I still am not a fan of Claire. I think that her and Cameron probably cooked this up together, and the other people followed them. And I won't even say like the men followed Cameron, because they didn't. They all had different things going on. But it did seem like Claire was, especially Claire and Emily, she has this hold on Emily. But, oh man, it was just so messy. Now, Cameron, admitting that he lied to the experts, Dr. Pepper, and him starting to cry. To me, everyone thinks that the cry was fake, but I don't know. Like, when you get the trembling, how do you fake that? How do you fake the trembling? Because I know with me, when I start crying for real, I get silent. Like, I can't, like, the words cannot come out, and you can tell like that was happening. So I don't know. To me, the crying wasn't fake, but yeah, everyone thinks it was. Yeah, I don't have much on Cameron and Claire. Cameron shows this receipt. Sir, receipts people can print stuff online. But okay. Like, to me, his explanation of his heart situation, it didn't make any sense. Some people say they feel like that's a quick outpatient procedure. A broken heart. How could your heart be broken? You are not in love with Claire. That just makes no sense. And then he tried to, remember, he said the same thing about his father. Like, his father, his lung collapsed or something like that when the mom filed for divorce. And it's like, why are you putting, your father's health on your mom like that, Anyway, But you know what? Not that I don't think it's possible, because I do. Like, we see all this bad stuff happening to Wendy Williams and her health. And it just so happened after her relationship, after her marriage ended. So I guess it's possible, but with Claire and Cameron, like, you guys were together for 4 weeks, and they were 4 very contentious weeks. And, here's the thing. I think that Cam made the comment about wanting, European skinny women or whatever. And that made her feel awkward. But I also think that she did say something to him about being in love with her ex. And that's probably why we saw him be so not open to her and just cold to her during like the airport scenes and like the first day of the honeymoon, because he just felt like, okay, this woman said she's still in love with her ex, there's something that I can do here, kind of vibes. But you can tell, like, he always showed like he was interested and wanted her, but then it came to the point where it was like, okay, she's not biting. So I don't know, y'all. I don't even care. So let's move on to Orion and Lauren. So Lauren, to me, had the best line, and I am going to start using this. I wish you what you deserve. And she was, she's very smug with him, and, the whole comment about, taking sex off the table. Here's the thing. So we see this a lot with the men on the show, especially like last season 16 in Nashville, where the men admitted that they did, get intimate right before the process. Just because you apply for a show, it doesn't mean that you're going to be on the show. Hundreds and thousands of people apply for these shows, and they only choose 10 people. So me personally, if I were to apply for the show, I'm not going to stop living my life. If I meet someone and I decide, I want to get to know them and I want to hook up with them, then I'm going to do that, because just because I apply for the show, it doesn't mean that they're going to choose me. So that whole narrative is ridiculous. Now, I think, again, it's edited, so we don't know, but I would have asked more questions like, well, who was this person that you hooked up with? Was it just a one-night stand? Because then that would be like, I don't know about that. And that's, everyone to each its own, or was this someone that you are like a friends with benefit situation? Like, what's going on there? So, but anyway, I just feel like more questions could have been asked. Maybe they were, and it wasn't shown, of course, editing. But yeah, to me, it's realistic to say, oh, once you apply for the show, you should have completely stopped. Just because you apply for a job, don't mean you're going to get it. Like, that's dumb. So in his mind, okay, you applied for a job at, let's say you applied for a job at Amazon, but Google, you applied for a job with Google before that, and then Google called you. So, but now you gotta leave Google alone and not answer their calls because you applied to you waiting for Amazon to call you back. Like, it's just like you gotta take the opportunities when they come. Okay. If you apply for a job at Google and Amazon, and you applied to Google first and then Amazon later, but Google calls you, you gonna say to Amazon, well, no, I can't. I gotta wait on Amazon because I applied to them, Google, sorry. No, you're gonna live your life, and whichever opportunity works out best for you is what you will choose. But even if, they started getting the callbacks and they started doing the interviewing, they interview quite a few people. They only choose 10. So to me, like, that's dumb. Move on with your life. and keep going. And when that opportunity comes and it's solidified, then you can stop. Now, once she found out that she, was going to be picked for the show and that she was matched, okay then. Or outside dating and anyone else that you may have been talking to or interested in, that's when it stops. So yeah, I don't like this, the shaming of it all, but maybe there were more questions asked and answered that made him feel that way. I don't know. But he ain't like that girl. And he used any excuse to keep it a buck. And I think they must STD test these people before. So it's just like, all right, well, did you out here sleeping around loosely? Maybe you caught something. But I think that they STD test them. So whatever. They didn't talk about the Redskin thing. I think that the network was just like, no, we're not going to touch that with a 50-foot pole. Because they just don't want to deal with all of the, I guess, because that was like, a big point of contention. And they probably just, didn't want to deal with that and swipe over it. We see this a lot on Ready to Love, where like there are big things that they just don't talk about because it's considered a controversial topic and they don't want to do it. But yeah, I love the fact that she told them you can get what you deserve. And, I thought it was real whack that she wouldn't admit that she was seeing someone. So that means that you're not. Like, just keep it a buck. You can just say, yeah, I'm dating right now and I am enjoying myself. Like, that's it. You're dating. It doesn't mean that you're, you have a solidified boo. But maybe you're going out on dates and you're interested in getting to know different people. So, that's all that means. But for her to act like, oh, why you in my business, Kevin? I don't want to share that. And girl, just say you single. What's his name? Orion admitted that he was seeing someone. And I was thinking, was it a man or a woman? Because remember, they're both like, I guess, fluid in a way. So yeah, interesting, because remember, he doesn't date Native American people, but he's so for his culture. That's the crap that I will never get. Like, you can't be like, I'm so pro my culture, but I will not date or marry nobody in my culture. So yeah, I would have, if I was Kevin, and maybe Kevin did ask and it didn't get aired, but I would have certainly pressed more on, who was you dating? Man or a woman? What's their race? Yeah. So to me, he kind of just admitted like, oh yeah, I wasn't giving up on the process versus the marriage. And to me, Lorman is lucky that he did give up on the marriage early and saved her, 7 weeks of trauma, because then she really would have been in the same place as Emily, because she did a lot of crying for somebody's marriage who only lasted a week to a stranger. And he wasn't even fine like that. Like, I can understand if he was fine. You were like, oh, Lord. But no, he wasn't even fine like that. So, yeah, I'm good on them. The experts had came out and, they were pretty much like, look, we didn't know. They should have been honest with us so we could actually really help them. And, that's it. There you go. You can't help people if they're not being honest with you. And when you go to therapy and you're not telling your entire truth to your therapist, or, you're not going to get the help that you need because you're not being honest. And I think that's, Pastor Cal hit the nail on the head. Like, we can help them when we didn't know. Becca and Austin really were not in this second part very much. Austin had the health issues and he wasn't feeling well. He left and he came back with a shaved beard, but he really had no talking points. And I really would have wanted Kevin to dig deeper with him and say, is it for the optics? because of the optics, were you unable to admit that maybe Becca is not your type? Like, try to trip him up into saying the truth and admitting that he's not attracted to her. But yeah, we didn't see anything much. Becca did say at the end, like, I deserve someone who I want to chase someone who wants to chase me, or whatever she said. And it was like, okay. But yeah, I mean, the women were just so angry. And to me, what's crazy. Oh, Michael and Chloe. Michael and Chloe had the same story. Michael does so much talking, but Michael don't say nothing. Michael needs to be a politician. You ask Michael a question with a simple yes or no answer, and Michael gives you, a whole soliloquy of him telling you everything but what you needed to hear. And he talked about how great she was and all this stuff, but it was like, you did her dirty. You did her dirty. So, I think that it's harder for people when you don't have children and you get, because I think Michael was like, 39 or 40? He's either 38, 39 or 40, something like that, in that age range. So when you get to your late 30s and you're doing well for yourself financially and you're single, you have no kids, you're not married, you don't have any, attachments, that is such a carefree life that people don't realize. It's hard to give up. It's hard to give up. You can buy whatever you want. You don't have to worry about the kids or, explaining your financial decisions to your spouse. You can pick up and go as you want to. And what Chloe was proposing was a lifestyle where none of that will be possible. If you have a farm, you can't just pick up and go. Most of the time, the farmers don't leave the farm. It's just somebody has to always be there to take care of the animals. And you can't just, it ain't like just a dog or a cat. Like, these animals, it's a different level of care. And then 5 teenage kids, bad teenagers, foster kids, no. And I really feel like, had Michael just said, her lifestyle that she wants, that she aspires to, is not going to match with mine, we would have been like, okay, understandable, because her lifestyle that she wants is quite different. And it is a lot for an average person who lives a carefree bachelor life. That type of responsibility, oh yes, that's going to change your life for real. And I wish that Michael would have just said that, because it would have been like, oh, okay. Okay, we get it. I could see that. So, I mean, again, he doesn't admit it. But Chloe, Chloe was played. She was played. And Michael, he was left at the altar just to leave Chloe on decision day. And that wasn't right. Be honest, be upfront. Now, some people feel like, Chloe was making digs at him. Chloe was talking about his fashion choices and yada, yada, yada. And she came off kind of snarky. Well, then say that. Again, Michael and Chloe, especially Michael, I feel like are not being honest. They're being very disingenuous. Tell us what it is. Tell us what it is with that person instead of just talking in circles. Be direct. But yes, this entire cast, everyone was focused on the optics. Everyone was focused on the optics. They just wanted to, look good on camera, and they all look bad. And, it just backfired. You can't go on this show if you're someone who's going to be hung up on looks and you're going to immediately not give the person a shot because the attraction, it never works. And they tried to play production and they got played because the viewers were not stupid. We've been watching reality TV shows for over 20 years and we know authenticity and we know fakeness, and everything about this season was fake. So I'm glad it's done. Oh, I have to watch next week's episode because, child, so Chloe and Lauren are not on good terms because apparently Lauren followed Michael on social media. Like, I don't see Chloe being that petty, but okay. There were a lot of people who have said online they feel like Michael should have been matched with Lauren. But remember, I think, Michael wanted a white woman who was a brunette. So, now, oh God, Austin and his roommate, apparently there's something there. I'm like, please, Lord, no. No. Because if I were Becca, I would be so pissed. Why did you waste my time? And if you knew you had something going on with your damn roommate. Like, I would be pissed. It's hard to get closure and move on when you... Child, we need closure. And we need to move on from this show. But they keep sucking us back in. I don't know how many episodes they're going to have left. I'm ready for Chicago. I hope the Chicago season is going to be different and more authentic. Hopefully there are people who are attracted to their matches and people who are willing to look past looks. But baby, this did not work for anybody on this show. Everyone just came across looking like the losers, like they lost because they were all fake and they were not keeping it 100 with us. Let me stop the review here. It ran a whole lot longer than I expected. We will see what happens next with the Where Are They Now? And all the drama that Emily is getting into online, the drama that she rightfully deserves. Comment down below your thoughts. If I missed anything and you want to comment about it, I will comment back. Let me know if you agree with anything I said or disagreed. Keep it respectful in the comments. Keep it cute. And don't forget to like the video. Thank you again for watching. This is Late Nolly Talks TV. I'm Late Nolly, and I'm signing out.